Hello today we're going to have a game of Power Drift on the arcades, and this is a game request by Stephen Schneider on YouTube. Right, it's a driving game, it's a racing game, that means it's my favourite genre of games. I remember playing this on the arcades. It's a SEGA sprite scaler, but this one's weird, so we got a lot of undulation going on in this one. Come out in '88 by SEGA, as I said. This one was a nice arcade cabinet as far as I remember. I think it did tilt, as you can see. Right, as we're going to play, it's a little bit of a bastard to configure the controls on this, because obviously this game is designed to have a steering wheel, and reconfiguring games that are supposed to have a steering wheel on a MAME emulator is quite difficult. You really got to work out what buttons you want to use as your pedals and getting the steering right. As I said, it's made for a steering wheel and I'm using a controller. It's really difficult to configure. Right, so let's insert some coins. Right, so I can't go to B or D for some reason. Let's just choose A. Right, be third or better. It might be a little bit difficult. Right, here we go. Bloody hell, look at the acceleration I've got here. Shit. Am I in the wrong gear? Must be. Oh, look, the screen's tilting. See, keeping the car... Oh, fuck. Keeping the car going in a straight line is fucking difficult. Because you've got to... Oh, bloody hell. This is the problem with I'm having with the MAME emulator. Can't configure the controls spot on, because you got to remember this game was designed for a steering wheel. Let's try and do the best we can. See, you push the joystick in the other direction, it just goes in the other direction. You don't, it's not gradual like you would expect with a game and keep the car straight. No, you push the other direction, it's going to go in the other direction. Like, as you can see, it's not my fault. It's not because I'm a very crap game player. Yes, I am actually, but it's not my fault this time. It's really hard to configure. Right, I've got 4 credits. Why can't I push? Oh, I've got to push 1. Okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not the game's fault. Right, I'll put it in right. Fucking hell! Gee, look, you turn it a little bit, it just flies off into the wall. It's hard to get the steering correct on this MAME emulator. As I said, it's not the game's fault, it's down to the emulation. But I'm not gonna, I can't knock points off for that. You know, you can't blame the emulation. I've got to imagine I'm still playing this at the arcades, but I'll be using the steering wheel, having the full... see, this is something you cannot appreciate with a MAME emulator or any arcade emulator. You can't appreciate the arcade itself, the arcade cabinet. So we'll come further back, but oh bloody hell! Am I going to come third? I don't know if I am. Yes, I did. I come third. Brilliant. So now it's going to get a little bit more tougher. Here we go. Am I in the right gear? Probably not. No. Ah, oh, fucking falling off. I'm always having to work the stick, because it just wants to keep going in that direction. You haven't got a steering wheel to steer it straight. You're trying to do that with a stick, it's just constantly going to the other side. Where's that? I would like to know what gear I'm in, because it don't tell you. You have to go by your speed. Oh fuck. As for a MAME experience, I'm not enjoying it, but for the arcade experience, I did enjoy it. Because the controls are hard to configure. I keep saying that. It really is. The controls are hard to configure for a racing game. Mind you, I didn't have as many problems with Outrun. Fucking hell. What's doing my head in also is the way the screen is tilted. It's not making it any easier. I think it would the arcade experience. It worked because I think the control. Did the arcade tilt as well? Like the deluxe cabinet, it's all tilted. I'm really finding this quite unplayable on the main emulator. It's probably why I'd never played it. I didn't play it because it would be a game that I would like to review, but there must be a reason why I didn't review it, because I found it impossible to play. I found the controls not to my liking, and there's nothing I can really do about it because it ain't supposed to have a controller. So I've got to overlook that. It's hard to overlook it, but I've got to, because it's not fair on the arcade cabinet, because it wasn't designed to have a controller. Ah, for fuck's sake. You might be able to get the if you tweak them somehow, but it's not the same on the main emulator. You know, people go on about original hardware, but when it comes down to arcades, yes, I would much rather play the arcade original, much rather than use the main emulator. Like, oh, fucking hell. Nah. How many credits have I got? One more credit. That'll be my lot. I'm finding it too difficult with the controller. But the game itself was pretty good. As I remember in the arcade, it was really good. So that's what I should be reviewing it on, as the arcade cabinet. But because it was like 30 odd years ago since I played the arcade cabinet of Power Drift, I can't really. It's a long time since I remember it. Really, I remember it as a. I'm sure that it did pivot. Just look at the screen, the way that moves. I'm not liking that. Ah, for fuck's sake. I mean, the graphics, sprite scaling is pretty good. Fuck's sake, my gameplay is rubbish, but I can't. I'm not. For once, I can say, right, that's not my fault. That's not my fault. It's down to main emulate. It's trying to emulate the arcades. It can't do it. It can't do it on the controls. It's impossible. It's designed for a steering wheel. Unless you can. I don't own a steering wheel, so I don't know if you can configure it. If you do have a steering wheel, I'm not sure about that. But controls are. If it comes down to driving games, it is quite difficult to configure it on a main emulator if it's got a steering wheel. It's really difficult. Even when I did Outrun, I did get it in the end, but I had a problem with the gears. But you know, as a racing game, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good game. If I was back in the arcades, I quite enjoyed it. Or did I play it? I didn't play it very often, I don't think. But what the goes I had on it, I did quite like it. I think it was quite expensive, about 50p a go back in the day, as far as I remember. I will judge it for the arcade game, but if you're thinking about playing it on an emulator, it's not very good. The controls are just not working. But that's not what I'm judging it for, because that's not fair. You can't do that. But the arcade game was pretty good as far as I remember. Anyway, I'm going to end this now. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, and goodbye.